Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. I hope you all had a great week. And ladies and gentlemen, just wanted to let you know that during this video, I forgot to turn my camera on. So this is the only time they're going to see this ugly mug. So you are welcome ahead of time for not having to put you through that torture. But in all seriousness, I started editing the video. I was like, oh my goodness, my camera was off. And indeed it was. So I hope that you still enjoy the video. It is packed with information as to why it is that America is no longer the America that it used to be. And this is just covering a few things that I found online. The first one being this right here. CVS stores in DC resort to framed photos of toilet paper. You know how this new trend, I guess it is that you can call it, where stores are putting locking devices on meat, on spam, putting everything pretty much behind closed doors or screens, and you have to ask for it so that they can come and unlock it and get it and stuff like that. They used to do it in the past with real small devices or really expensive devices. Now, ladies and gentlemen, not only are they not locking up merchandise, but now they're taking pictures of merchandise, and then you have to request that someone go get for you what it is that you want to purchase. Take a look at this. Washington, D.C. local CVS stores have resorted to displaying photos of products on their shelves instead of the actual items themselves. I think the title of our last live stream this last Friday, I think it was Welcome to the Third World, where, ladies and gentlemen, is this not something that you would see in the third world? In Barcelona, they have MacBooks out in the open for people to pick up. Where has America gone wrong? Well, I have my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, on where America has gone wrong. But what can we do about that now? I would say that you need to get prepared for America to transition over into a third world nation. And no, that's not me giving up on the country. That's just me looking at reality in front of me and seeing how it really is. It's all up to the policies that are passed, all up to the laws that are enforced, ladies and gentlemen. If we no longer have the rule of law in our country, and day by day we can see more and more that the rule of law is dispersed unequally amongst those that have a lot and those that don't have much, then, ladies and gentlemen, just like Ayn Rand said, when politicians write laws that protect them from the people, instead of writing laws that protect the people from them, the government, then your society is lost. And that is what's happening. We are not enforcing just basic laws that go with human nature. For example, I believe that one of the first things that most children are taught when they're growing up is you do not steal. Well, in this case, ladies and gentlemen, now if you're going to steal, you're going to end up stealing a picture, because that's all you're going to have until you ask someone to get it from the back warehouse so that you can buy it. Imagine that in America. Crime in the American capital has reached crisis levels. Violent crime is up 41% over the last year. Violent crime, ladies and gentlemen. And I do believe that in Washington, D.C. is a very strict gun laws there, right? They have very strict gun laws there. But violent crime has still gone up. I wonder how that's working for them when you have a population of people that are not allowed to protect themselves per the law. And of course, we all know that criminals follow the law, right, ladies and gentlemen? They adhere to the law because they don't want to get in trouble. I know I'm being a little bit sarcastic there, but you all know that criminals will not follow the law. That's why they are criminals. But in this case, violent crime has gone up and people still cannot defend themselves. The city has seen a 33% increase in homicides and a 70% increase in robberies. According to DC's Metropolitan Police Department, theft is up 21%, with 10,673 incidents reported so far this year in 2023. Motor vehicle theft has seen a 101% increase compared to 2022. This reminds me of a conversation that I was having with a friend of mine who lives in New York, and he was telling me that where he lives in New York, which is in the city area, he was saying that his car had been vandalized like 3 times in the last year or so, where he had his catalytic converter taken out of his car, stolen from his car. And he said on the third time, I believe it was the third time that it had happened to him, he said he had called the police, and it was early in the morning, like 9:30 in the morning. And the police had told him that that was already the 18th report of stolen catalytic converters that they'd had that day so far, and it was only 9:30 in the morning. Over the past month, DC's homicide rate has hit the highest level in 20 years. And ladies and gentlemen, it's just going to continue to get worse. Why is it that for years, not just me, but many others have been saying if you live in densely populated areas, i.e. cities, concrete jungles also, maybe you should think about moving out of those areas to a more rural area where there is not such a dense population, because it seems that most of these really highly populated areas are those areas that are run by people that don't care about the law. And another reason, ladies and gentlemen, why America is no longer America. Men are taking over women's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Incredible. I remember reading a story a year or two ago where a man was competing with women and he ended up cracking a lady's skull. Do you really want your daughter out there fighting against another man just because he calls himself whatever he wants to call himself? Anyways, the author here says, I've been saying this for a long time, that the takeover of women's sports is going to end only when women stop competing against them. At a recent women's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition, men completely dominated the event, with some events having only male competitors. Why, ladies and gentlemen? Because everyone is so scared about not being politically correct, whatever it is that may be these days. I will never ever allow my daughter to get into some kind of a sport against someone that is a lot stronger than her by nature, and then them calling them equals, because equal they are not. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not even going to mention the name of this joker. He's just trying to stay relevant. But he mentions that white women in suburbs should be blamed for gun violence. Why? This is his quote. We will never end gun violence until white women in the suburbs stop voting for the Republicans who are endangering our schools and communities by flooding them with guns, ladies and gentlemen. Instead, what I think he would rather have is a country where we don't have a Second Amendment and all of the guns are concentrated in the hands of government and those whom they appoint to be law enforcement officers. How do you think that ends? If you don't know how that scenario ends, take a look at history a little while back and you'll very easily find how that scenario ends. And I'll help you. I'll go ahead and leave a page here to the Hawaii University webpage so that you can go take a look and see what it is that democide stands for. OAP, they weren't tyrannical. They were just trying to protect us. Really? The veil of silence over excess deaths. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read this very short sentence here for you all, and then I would encourage you all to go take a look at this article and read it all. All right, because I can't read it here. Around the world, there has been a deafening silence over excess deaths from governments and the mainstream media, who not so long ago were quite fixated on the daily death toll of that old health crisis. I will finish this video off with, gold is about to have its day, says Mr. Jim Grant, and he warns that nobody is prepared for higher yields for much, much, much longer. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to finish it off with telling you all that, in my opinion, this financial system in which we are governed today, and I often say, if not always say, that we are governed by this financial system. Yes, because this fiat currency financial system is what gives the government its power and takes it away from the people. If you're not protecting yourself in any way by preserving your wealth, first with being as prepared as you possibly can be, having an emergency fund, if you even can afford to put away an emergency fund. I'm not a financial advisor. Do what it is that you need to do for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. I have to say that because I'm on the internet. By not having all of the preps of food that you can put away, by not having all the preps of water and water filtration that you can put away, pretty much get prepared, ladies and gentlemen, because the things that you are accustomed to getting today, you may not be able to get them tomorrow, and or they may be a lot more expensive because of the policies that this government has put forth, not on your behalf, but on the behalf of themselves. The world is experiencing a historic surge in interest rates. And the Federal Reserve, ladies and gentlemen, you may want to think that they control the interest rates, but they do not control the bond market. They do not control the interest rates. And Jim Grant believes that the turmoil could be the beginning of a multi-decade bear market in bonds. What does that tell me? What do those words say to me? A multi-decade bear market in bonds is the same thing as saying a multi-decade, all right, bull market in gold and silver. It's the same thing. To me it is. Again, make your own decisions. Having said that, let me go ahead and leave it off for this one. I hope that you have a great Monday and a great rest of your week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm more than likely going to put up another video or maybe even two today just to catch up on some of the news that I missed over the weekend. Have a great day. God bless every one of you. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.